Mayuran. I have known him as a little boy, little child, and he has achieved a great goal by becoming a consultant. Not only a consultant, he is so devoted in doing charity work. That's one of the main reasons we work. I'm happy that his wife cooperates with him. He leaves the country suddenly to Sri Lanka and he disappears, then now comes after a few months, and he spends most of his money on charity work. And I think it's a great pleasure inviting him to say a few words.
Thank you very much. Praying to the lotus feet of Kanaga Thurukai Amman and welcoming the esteemed guests, the mayors and husband and the councillors. I would like to say a few words about what I think this building should be used for. This
consultant, when he was a boy, he grew with the temple. Temple has gone up, he has also gone up.
Thank you. Having come here since 1996, when I was a 12-year-old boy, this temple has grown immensely, and thanks to the community, the trustees and the executive committees every 2 years, and the volunteers, which initially was led by Mr. Thiessen and Kesavanana. Now, we always have our differences, but the aim was always one thing, which is to serve our people back home, whilst supporting the mental well-being of the people here by letting them come and have a community center, which is the temple. In other words, a place of worship. But what we've seen in the last 12 years since the war finished in Sri Lanka is that a lack of focus in our people back home. But at the same time, the community realized here that we need to strengthen the services that we provide to the local community here, so that we can build a foundation for the future, so that we can continue to help the needy back home, whether that's Sri Lanka, India, Malaysia, anywhere. So this is the strengthening phase of our foundations, which was initially led and made by the trustees and the executive committee between the 1990 and 2010, thereabouts. And Mr. Karalingam was there at the time and spearheaded the program, which said 1/3 of the profit that is made by this temple must be sent for charitable purposes to our needy people. And that mantra must remain as part of this new future that we're building and seeing from today. So I would like to say this is a new chapter in the glorious history of the Thurukai Amman Temple, and it is just precinct that in the 30th, we've just passed the 30 years since the temple was formed, and we've built this 3-story building. So let's hope that in 20 years' time we'll be able to build something bigger, and we'll be able to serve the community here as well as back home. For this building, I think this has multiple purposes, obviously a communal center, but the elderly people should remain the focus, and their well-being needs to be addressed in multiple ways. For example, starting with simple health advice, which Dr. Radha is planning to launch here using the Temple Medical Forum, and I will support it as a doctor and as a volunteer. And I would welcome all the doctors in this community, as well as allied healthcare professionals such as nurses, counselors, physiotherapists, whoever can speak Tamil or can be bilingual, to come forward and register their interest, because the plan is we will be holding free medical clinics in this building on a regular basis, if not daily, weekly. And that's something that Dr. Radha is planning, and I would definitely ask you to support that. The second is the yoga sessions that I would like to see happening here, as mentioned by the councillors. And for that we need trained yoga teachers, and we would welcome volunteers like that to come forward and register their interest so that we can hold regular yoga sessions. And thirdly, just general citizen advice, things that our people lack, our people don't have. And this is where councillors and our community leaders will have to come in and play. So for example, I would ask you to come in and give us that level of support and knowledge, because we don't have that. So yeah, we are well intentioned, but we don't always know what to do. So we've now built the building, but we need you guys to come back rather than just come today. We would like to see you every Tuesday and Friday here during pujas and prayers so that you can contribute. So it's not just the community, we are looking for you to help us. So I'll finish on those notes, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mayuran. I know him, as I told you before, a little boy. I never thought he'll become a big consultant, leading consultant at this young age, and we really admire his services, and especially I must appreciate his wife's support for ignoring him and letting him do all this work. It's not easy, it's not easy with 3 children, it's not easy, but she's cooperating with him and he's doing a great job. Thank you very much, Mayuran. And next, before we go, we thank you all for coming. I know most of you all must be hungry. Food is ready. Can I ask one of the senior persons? I remember when the 1/3 was proposed, we had a lot of misunderstanding. We couldn't get it approved. Then we called one of the leading solicitors to advise us. That's Mr. Sidamra. I still remember at Dr. Nityanandan's center, we had a meeting when Siddhan was the mediator between me and the other people who had questions to ask, and he really told me, he took me to a side and said, "Be silent, I'll make this happen. Keep quiet." Because I was very angry. I thought this must be done, because obviously, but all I wanted is that a charitable organization must do charity work, not just buy buildings around the temple. That's what most of our other, I shouldn't be saying this, but some charities do. They just buy properties. But we have no intention. We want to do charity work, and we have succeeded. And we are more known more in Sri Lanka for our charitable work. That's a great achievement we have received. And I must thank the trustees for allowing us to continue approving it and allowing us to do. And especially I must thank Mr. Sidamra for contributing towards it. I would ask him to say a few words at this moment.
அம்பிகையின் பாதங்களை வணங்கி உங்கள் முன்னையில் என்னையும் ஒரு பொருளாக கருதி சிறு வார்த்தைகள் கூறுமாறு அழைத்த முன்னாள் தலைவரும் தற்போதைய செயலாளருமாகிய திரு சொக்கலிங்கம் கர்ணலிங்கம் அவர்களுக்கு எனது மனமார்ந்த நன்றிகளை, எனது நன்றி மட்டுமல்ல, எனக்கு ஊண்டுதலாக இருக்கின்ற என்னுடைய மனைவியார் திருமதி மகேஸ்வரி செந்தப்பிள்ளை அவர்களுக்கும் நான் கடமைப்பட்டிருக்கின்றேன். நான் இன்று சமூகத்துக்கு சேவை செய்வதாக இருக்கின்றதால் என்னுடைய மனைவியார் தான். இன்று அந்நியர் தினம் ஆகிய இங்கு இருக்கின்ற அந்நியர்கள் அனைவர்களுடைய சிறந்தையும் நான் வணங்குகின்றேன். தாய் சிறந்த கோவிலும் இல்லை என்பார்கள். தாயை போல பிள்ளை, நூலை போல சேரி என்பார்கள். ஆகவே இன்று ஒரு சிறந்த தினம். இந்த தியான மண்டபம் திறப்பு விழா ஒரு நல்ல தினத்தில் அமைந்திருக்கின்றது. அது அம்பாளின் கருணையினால்தான். நாம் ஒன்று நினைக்க தெய்வம் இன்னொன்று நினைக்கும் என்று சொல்வார்கள். எது எப்போ நடக்குமோ அது அன்று நன்றாக நடந்தது என்று பகவத்கீதை கூறுகின்றது. இந்த வகையில் நான் உண்மையில் இன்றைக்கு ஒரு சிறு கடிதம் எழுதி கொண்டு வந்திருந்தேன். அந்த கடிதத்தில் நான் கூறிய விடயம் முக்கியமாக ஒன்று. இந்த ஆலயம் உருவாகும் பொழுது அமரர் சிவாச்சாரியார் சாம்பமூர்த்தியார் அவர்களை நாங்கள் நினைவு கூற வேண்டும். அவர்தான் அந்த இங்கே கூறினார்கள் திரு நடராஜா கிருஷ்ணராஜா, அவர் என்னுடைய தொழிலை சார்ந்தவர். உங்கள் எல்லோருக்கும் பசி இருக்கும் நினைக்கின்றே நான் பல நேரங்களை வீணாக்க விரும்பவில்லை. எனக்கும் பசிக்கின்றது. ஆகவே சுருக்கமாக விஷயத்தை சொல்ல விரும்பியிருக்கிறேன். அவருடைய ஆசீர்வாதம் தான் இந்த ஆலயம் இவ்வளவு விருட்சமாக அடைவதற்கு முக்கிய காரணமாக இருந்தது என்பதை நான் இந்த பொது சபையில் கூற விரும்புகின்றேன். அவர் கைப்பட்டது எப்பொழுதும் ஒரு